Hey y'all, I'm Carolina Tony. It is a beautiful day here in sunny South Carolina. Recently, some subscribers asked me to do a question and answer video so you can get to know me a little better. You sent in your request, and today is the day for all those answers. And it's such a nice day. I'm gonna take the Jeep out. We're gonna go downtown and look around a little bit, and I'm gonna answer your questions right after this station identification. This is Riverside Landing here in Cheraw, and we are on the banks of the Great PD River. And the 19th and early 20th century steamships would come up the river from the coast, from the Georgetown area, and bring goods and take them back to the coast. There were lots of warehouses up on the edge of town where all the goods were stored, and they would come down to the river to be shipped all over the place. Okay, well, we might as well get started into answering the questions. The first one comes from Gina Aragon. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I may be wrong. When it comes to pronouncing names and places, I'm going to be wrong most of the time. The question is, what made you decide to start making these videos, which, and she says they're pretty interested and informative? Well, it really started a very long time ago. As most of you know, I like to ride my motorcycle, and during certain times of the year I would take extended trips by myself and basically travel all over the places, but I would go by myself. And while I was there, I would take pictures with my phone and bring them back home and try to share everything with my family and friends. And somehow, you know, that was about all I had in order to share with my family and friends was my phone. But I was just surfing the inner tube one day and I actually came across two creators, and a lot of you know is Jacob the Carpetbagger and Adam the Woo. And I watched some of their stuff, and I said to myself, I said, these guys are doing exactly what I do, but they're putting it into the video. And that's kind of where it all started. So I had two creators that inspired me, and then over the last few years, many more creators have inspired me as well. And if you watch my videos close enough, you can probably see me imitating some of them. So, Gina, I hope that answers your question. We have one from Reefer Madness. He asked, Tony, what sort of work did you do most of, and what was your favorite job? I've been working since I was 12 years old. When I was in high school, I milked myself through high school. Let me explain. I worked on a dairy farm for 4 years, so every morning I would get up and go milk cows, go home, get ready for school, go back to school, and then in the afternoon start all over again. I did it for 4 years. That was fun. After I graduated, I started training in the heating and air conditioning field. I did it for a few years, but then got out of it, went to work in the textile industry for a few years, tried to sell insurance. That did not work. So for the past 30 some odd years, I have been in the heating and air conditioning business, and for the past 30 years I've owned my own business. So that enables me to do a lot of what I do because I'm self-employed. So Reefer, I hope that answered your question. And also, what's my most favorite? I love doing heating and air conditioning. I love working for myself. You can't beat it. Does come with its stresses and troubles and all, but in the end, it's all worth it. Diane Gottfried, she asked, how long have you been doing these videos and how old are you? I've been doing the videos approximately 3.5 years, and if I live to June the 22nd, I'll be 65 years old. I've been told by a very good friend of mine that actually works for me that out of everyone that he knows, I'm the one that has a major problem with the age. I don't see myself as 65 years old, at least in here. So I think you are only as old as you feel. I still scuba dive, I ride roller coasters, and not too much stops me. However, sometimes I have to pay for it the next day, if you know what I mean. I have one from Wrestler Mania. Wrestler Mania wants to know, as a fellow YouTube creator, how long does it take you to edit your average travel video? Where do you see taking your channel in the future? A different niche, same niche, just different locations, adding different niches, unboxing, etc. Depending on how involved it is. Sometimes I will shoot video over several locations. I've done some this one video, but it's several states. So sometimes that takes a little longer. Sometimes I find out I have goofed up and I have to go back and do it all over again because I just foul it up. That seems to happen a lot, or at least more times than I want. But most of the time, less than an hour. 5-minute video may take me 30 minutes. But I try to keep my videos around from 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes a little longer, but not that much. Different niches. As I've said before, in my videos, nothing is off the table. I have did a video of the American Doll Museum in Chicago, Illinois. I have done graveyards. I have done unboxing. I've done cooking videos. So anything that you may find interesting, other people will too. So I'll give it a shot and see how it works. Daniel McLeod writes, can you tell us your top favorite places for eating Carolina cooking? My late dad started Carolina Fried Chicken chain with one in Bennettsville, and I think there was one in Sherrall too, and I do believe I've eaten there before. Favorite food, I love eating, as you probably can tell. Forest barbecue goes, down in Atlanta, South Carolina, Schuler's Barbecue. It's a buffet, and he has probably some of the best ribs I've ever eaten. And I have eaten barbecue all over the United States, in Hawaii, and even in Mexico. Schuler's has definitely got it beat. So I love barbecue, but also another one of my favorite things is seafood. I love me some seafood. Oyster, shrimp, flounder, catfish. So I don't really know that I have a favorite. Sierra S. She asked, Carolina Tony, have you ever thought about doing TikTok? Sierra, really? Can you picture an old fat man? I just don't see it. Lil Rambay asks, hey Tony, my question to you is, what was it like growing up in Bennettsville, and how much has it changed since then? It says, I'm from Florida, but pretty much my whole family is from South Carolina, primarily Bennettsville and McCall. I lived the first 19 years of my life over in Bennettsville. My father passed away when I was 12. most of my good memories were formed before that. After he passed away, I started working, and life was pretty foggy back in the 70s. 1976, actually 1975, I met my wife. We were married in 1976. We moved to Sherrill, and I've pretty much, well, been here my whole life. Has Bentonville changed? I've gone back and visited quite often. Yes, it's changed a lot. To be honest with you, I prefer living over here in Sherrill, mostly. This is the Sherrill Town Green. Yeah, you can tell it's because the grass is green and it's downtown. There's the old marketplace. And of course our statue of Sherrill, South Carolina native Dizzy Gillespie, known by his bent trumpet. And there's the Sherrill Town Hall across the street. But let's answer some questions from here. This water trough and hand pump was actually used at the turn of the century right here in Sherrill to feed and water horses. Nez Lover, she asked, who is your favorite classical composer? Well, duh, Leonard Skinner. Who else? She says hers is Chopin and Strauss and Tchaikovsky. I'm not familiar with their music. Just kidding. Who's your favorite author? God. What's your favorite ice cream? Butter pecan. Who's your favorite artist? Is Nez Lover and Mark Fun Jones, of course. Dandelions. She asked, what would be your dream vacation? If you could choose to live at any time period, which would it be? And do I have any collections? Favorite dream vacation? That's a hard one. I think perhaps maybe Germany. I've been to Hawaii. That is an awesome vacation. I actually was very lucky. My wife had some relatives there, so we got to stay with them, and it was awesome. So I have been to Oahu, and I have been to Hawaii, the Big Island. It's just, you can't describe that type of vacation. I love the Caribbean, but I really would like to go see Germany. Also, what time period would I like to live in? That's a hard one. I'm not sure. Perhaps the 1950s, maybe. Things were a whole lot simpler back then. And do I have any collections? I do have a collection of movie one posters from the 1960s, late 50s, early 60s era, which is pretty neat. Movie Mania Nick, he asked, what is my favorite place to visit in South Carolina, and also what's my favorite film? I would say my favorite place to visit, of course, is Charleston, South Carolina. There's a lot of history there. But during the summer, I try to stay away from there because Charleston is very hot and humid in the summer. The fall, early spring is an awesome place to visit, and I'll be going there soon to film at a plantation or two. Also, my favorite film. I love any type of time travel films. I guess my favorite of all time is the Back to the Future trilogy. All three of them, I love them. RBT asked, hey Tony, were you ever married and have kids? Notice you never talk about your family. Well, I have talked about my family in some of my videos, so you have to watch them all, but not all the time. Yes, I have been married, and I have been married to the same wonderful lady come March the 23rd, 45 years. I have 2 children. I have a son that is a registered nurse in Atlanta, and I have a daughter in Anderson, South Carolina. She is a nurse practitioner, and through her and her husband, I have 2 wonderful granddaughters. Diane Godfrey, she asked, how do you choose where you're going to visit and video? Do you ride a motorcycle all the time when you travel? What made you start doing these videos? How do I choose? I have to do a lot of research as to where I'm going. I do like to go to, if it's going to be a place far off, I like to go to a destination where I can film a lot in a few days. For instance, a few weeks back I went to Louisiana. I filmed in New Orleans, Mississippi, and Georgia, and that was all day filming. And it's just a shot in the dark. I just had to find somewhere that I can get to in a short amount of time, because I do work for myself and I do have to work, but not all the time. And do I ride my motorcycle all the time? I actually haven't been on my motorcycle since October. Sometimes the weather just doesn't permit it, so when I do, I will take my truck or a car or whatever I happen to be traveling in at the time. But I ride my motorcycle as much as I can. What made me decide to start doing these things? Well, riding a motorcycle and sharing my adventures with my family and friends. Simple as that. Well, I hope that answers a lot of your questions. It's been really fun answering these questions, and it's also been fun making these videos, and I hope you have enjoyed them. If you do, I do love to hear your comments. I love talking with you guys, and it's very hard because we can't talk on the phone or whatever, but through the comments we can, and I do my best. For right now, with the amount of subscribers that I have and the amount of comments that I get, I do try to give some type of response to your questions and answers and comments. I really appreciate them. Some of you have shared with me how deeply you feel about what I do, how good it makes you feel, and that just warms my heart. Again, I want to thank you for watching. Thanks for all of the folks that have subscribed to my channels. Thank you so much for your kind words and comments. Be sure to share my videos with your family and friends. Help this channel to grow. Again, I really appreciate it. For now, y'all have a good day.